Howdy folks, we are back, and this is going to be the season finale of Draft League. This is the Ambercrag Excadrills against crowned Talonflame and Phoenix. We've already locked up the number one seed, fortunately, but there's still a lot at stake in this battle. If I win, potentially Paragraphs could steal the second seed from Phoenix. So we'll see how it goes. They didn't bring Espeon, nor did they bring Claydol, which were two things that I was like pretty heavily prepping for, to be honest. So that kind of throws a monkey wrench into my plan, but we should be okay. I'm going to lead Excadrill because they don't have Espeon, so they can't magic bounce hazards back, which is nice. So I don't have to get rid of that thing before I can just start getting hazards up. We'll just have to see what they lead with, because getting rocks up for Talonflame specifically, assuming that he doesn't have heavy-duty boots on it, would be good. And they lead Magnezone, so that's pretty ideal for us. Doesn't say that it's on a balloon, so there's not a whole lot this thing can do to us. I can't imagine in a million years he would stay in to die to an earthquake, so I'm just going to get rocks up. And they do stay in. That is truly unbelievable. So they go for body press. It's going to hurt, but I don't think it's going to take us out. Yeah, so that does around 60%. Which does hurt, but we tank it. Yeah, I'm just going to go for Earthquake now. If they decide to go to Talonflame, so be it. But we have Mold Breaker, so if they go into Rotom Wash, we're just going to hopefully destroy that thing, which is nice. I mean, that's a very good play on their part. Incredibly risky play, because if I just went straight for Earthquake, they probably would have just died. But they probably anticipated me to anticipate them switching and doing something else. Okay, so they do go to Rotom. And because we have Mold Breaker, this thing is going to get hurt. So Earthquake does hit it and does knock it out. Beautiful. Alright, so Excadrill KOs Rotom Wash with Earthquake. That is the power of Mold Breaker. I've been bringing Sand Rush the last couple matches just because my opponents have had sand, so I've tried to like utilize their own hijinks, but this time Mold Breaker made all the sense in the world for that Rotom, so that thing's out of the way early, which is fantastic. And we have our rocks up, which is great. I think they have to go Talonflame here, and they do. Are they heavy duty boots? They are not, so happily give that half its HP gone, which is fabulous. Let's go into Umbreon just as like a middle ground. I could potentially go into Skarmory, but I don't really feel like taking like a Flare Blitz or something, so okay, they go for U-turn. That's a good play. They'll get some momentum. Of course, the issue is the next time they bring Talonflame in, unless they get the rocks out of there, they're dead. So potentially not the greatest play. I mean, unless they have a way to get rid of my Stealth Rocks. I know Skuntank can learn Defog, so maybe that's what they're thinking. They go to it here. I'm just going to make an aggressive play and go right back into Excadrill. I'm assuming that they're going to defog my rocks away, probably. Yeah, so they do go for defog. So they will get rid of the rocks here, but I can just get them right back up, and maybe they'll want to go for, like, flamethrower or something to try and knock us out. And maybe they'll fear the earthquake coming in, go back to Talonflame now that they can come in safely without rocks up. Apologies if you can hear my computer screaming in the background. So they are going to switch. Are they going to go to Talonflame? They are. It's a good play. So they are able to get it in safely without taking rocks damage, but we get our Stealth Rock up now. So now we kind of have to play the mind games. Like, would they go for U-turn again, anticipating me to switch again? Or this time, are they just going to try and hit what's in front of them? Could be they don't even have a fire move. They could just have, like, Brave Bird and U-turn. Yeah, the problem is I don't really gain anything here from... I guess what I could do is just, like, Rapid Spin for some chip. I don't know that that's, like, the greatest play, though. How about this time we go into Skarmory? Okay, so this time he does Flare Blitz. So that's going to hurt, but they are... Oh, we don't have Rocky Helmet on this one. We actually have Shed Shell because of them having Magnezone. I'm going to go into Golisopod to hopefully take a Flare Blitz a little better than Skarmory did. So they do go for Flare Blitz again. It doesn't knock us into emergency exit range, and it will die to Life Orb Recoil, so Talonflame KO'd by Life Orb. Alright, so that's two things out of the way. I feel like they could pretty safely go back into Skuntank again and just defog again. But now that Talonflame is knocked out, it's not all too imperative for them to do that. They could potentially go to Magnezone. Yeah, so they do go to Magnezone here. I'll just go into Drill. If they go for Body Press with a Golisopod in front of them, fair play. But if they go for an electric move, we at least won't be impacted by that at all. So they do go for Body Press. That's a good play. And that will take out Excadrill. So Magnezone KOs Drill with Body Press. Well, now might be the time. So We get a free switch into Lanky. And I feel like I can pretty safely Swords Dance up here. Like, Skuntank can kind of take everything we have, but I don't know that it can really do all that much back to us, especially if our Disguise is still up. So I'm just going to Swords Dance here. They do stay in, so they'll probably break our Disguise with, like, Flash Cannon or something. Okay, so they go for Volt Switch to break the Disguise. It's good play. Maybe now they'll go into Skuntank. I always overestimate Mimikyu's bulk. Like, I think a lot of the time, like, oh, it can live one hit, and then it just doesn't. Let's see here. So, Mimikyu is base 96 speed. And Haxorus is 97, so it outspeeds us by a little bit, assuming it's Jolly. So I'm just going to go for Shadow Sneak here. So I can't really risk it being faster and knocking us out. Shadow Sneak does a good chunk. They'll Poison Jab, which doesn't knock us out. So there we go. I kind of have felt like Mimikyu should be able to take a hit from something. Poison Jab, obviously, from Haxorus is not stab, so it's not going to be doing as much. So now they go into Skuntank, which I thought that they would do originally. So Skuntank is definitely slower. I'm going to go for Drain Punch here to try and get some HP back. Maybe it'll have, like, Sucker Punch. And if it does, fair play. Probably should have thought of that before just selecting a move, but they don't go for it if they have it. Drain Punch almost knocks it out. Get a hearty amount of HP back. I don't know if that's going to be enough to take, like, a Dark Pulse. Night Slash in this case. And we still tank it. So Mimikyu is putting in some work here. I'm just going to Drain Punch again, because they don't have a Ghost type that they can go to. And we can potentially get back at least, like, the Life Orb recoil and HP. So we'll Drain Punch again and knock it out. So Mimikyu KOs Skuntank with Drain Punch. Oh, and he knocks it out with Aftermath. That's interesting. So Skuntank KOs Mimikyu with Aftermath. Well, that's unfortunate, but we did do some hearty damage there. I'm going to go into Rabombi. Because if he goes into anything sans Magnezone, we're in a good place. And he does go into Throw. So I'm just going to Moonblast. If he goes to Magnezone, so be it. We'll get like a tiny amount of chip, but this is not a good matchup for him, so hopefully they'll stay in thinking that we might overpredict. So they do switch out. They'll probably go into Magnezone, which they do. Does not a lot. I can go into Umbreon here. This is going to be a close game because we don't have a whole lot of offense left outside of Rabombi, so I need to preserve Rabombi because Rabombi can deal with Haxorus and Throw. I just need to figure out a way to get rid of Magnezone, which is going to be kind of complicated. So they do Volt Switch. Kind of knew that they would do that. They'll probably go into Throw, I would imagine. Yeah, this is going to be a close game. Losing Mimikyu to Aftermath and losing Excadrill is not the best for us, but we'll see if we can come through here. It's going to come down to the wire, I feel, because we just don't have a lot of offense left. So they're Guts and have a Flame Orb, which is terrifying. I'm just going to protect to see what they want to do. We don't lose anything by doing it. They'll probably go for like Circle Throw or something to phase us out, which would be problematic if we switch to something and then they like phase us back into Umbreon. This is for knockoff. Interesting. Okay. Well, it is nice to have our leftovers, but maybe here he'll go for a fighting move, but I'm just going to Wish Up, and then potentially if he like phases us, we might be able to live it and then pass some health to something. Don't think we're going to live a superpower, though. Yeah, baited. Dang. Okay, so Throw KOs Umbreon with superpower. So the thing now, though, is he's got -1 attack and -1 defense. Tell you what, let's do this. Let's go into Skarmory. And I want to try to bait in Magnezone. So I'm going to go for a Body Press. If they stay in, good play, but they're at -1 attack and -1 defense. That would be kind of crazy to do against a bird. So if I Body Press here, I'm thinking we can maybe catch Magnezone on the switch, and if we do that, it might be GG, but they stay in. So Body Press does a decent amount, knock off. It's not going to do all that much. They knock off our Shed Shell, which reveals our strategy, but we do get the Wish from Umbreon, which is amazing. And I don't have a reason not to Body Press again here, because we kind of need to catch Magnezone on the switch if it happens. It doesn't. We Body Press again and knock out Throw. Alright. So Skarm KOs Throw with Body Press. So I have a feeling they're going to go into Magnezone here, and I don't really know that we have anything to do about that. Which they do. Yeah, see, man. So maybe they'll go for Volt Switch here. And maybe we can live that with Rabombi. Well, we definitely can because we have Focus Sash. But if he stays in and goes for like Thunderbolt, we're kind of boned. Oh, this is tough. This is really tough. I feel like his play is just a T-Bolt. I Alright, I'm just going to stay in and go for body press. And we're faster. That's interesting. Okay, we don't take it out. But they do go for Thunderbolt. Wow, I really thought we were going to be slower. But Thunderbolt does take us out there. But we did enough damage that we might be okay. So Magnezone KOs Skarm with T-Bolt. So I'm gonna go into Rabombi because we need to keep the pressure on. We can't let Haxorus come in and start like Dragon Dancing. I feel like Moonblast has to do that much and did already. If it doesn't, so be it. But that's like a sliver of health. It's got to be like 10 HP. We can do that. Yeah, this is gonna come down to the wire, but we have priority still in the back with Golisopod, so even if something terrible happens and we lose Rabombi, I feel like we might be okay. And I don't think he can switch, because he's going to take Stealth Rock damage. And Moonblast does do enough. Alright, so Rabombi KOs Mag with Moonblast. And then, unless Haxorus gets like Sucker Punch or something, which I don't think it does, we should be okay. So let's go for another Moonblast. Oh, they're faster because they're scarfed. But we have a Sash. I mean, again, we had Golisopod in the back with priority, so that wasn't too huge, but goodness gracious. So Moonblast will take out Haxorus. Rabombi KOs Hax with Moonblast. And because that's the end of the battle, we live on 1 and poisoned. Wow, GG Phoenix. That was very well played. Very close game. Down to the wire. Great way to end the season. And we'll see you maybe in the playoffs.